Over the weekend, former Bad Wolves frontman Tommy Vext was arrested and charged with threatening or intimidating a misdemeanor in Arizona where this allegedly occurred. Now, Tommy is speaking out about this, telling his side of the story in a video posted on social media alongside his girlfriend. And according to Tommy and his girlfriend, this is a family dispute with his girlfriend's family in which he alleges he observed her father physically assaulting her on FaceTime. She was later arrested in connection with this. The entire story, there's a lot of details to this in their explanation, but essentially Tommy's asserting that he witnessed her being assaulted. He shows up, he drives overnight hundreds of miles to get to this location. She has been arrested at this point. He's trying to figure out how to deal with that. And at some point, he is arrested in a manner that is known as on view, according to the statement put out by law enforcement there, which means that they observed what happened and made an arrest in that moment. Now, it's unclear what exactly happened that led to this. We're going to look at what Tommy had to say in his statement. But first, let's go to the details put out by the sheriff's office. So this is what the sheriff's office posted on their Facebook page. It says, the offense here is threatening or intimidating physical injury or property damage. And then, as you can see, the arrest type says on view. So, it means they saw what happened and then they got involved right there. Tommy's going to tell his side of things again. It is worth pointing out his girlfriend was arrested prior to his arrival. And he is saying that this is all a family dispute and he observed her father physically assault her on FaceTime. So let's take a look at what Tommy had to say, and then we'll kind of wrap this up as well. But let's take a look at what Tommy had to say in this statement on his social media. So he explains in this video again that he observes her father allegedly assaulting her on FaceTime, and then this leads him to drive hundreds of miles. And then whatever happens, which is unclear specifically, he ends up being arrested for this misdemeanor. And of course, he maintains his innocence in this situation. This is what Tommy had to say in that video posted on social media.
Hey guys, so most of you guys know my girlfriend Hannah. We've been dating for almost 11 months now. Yeah. And I wanted to come on here and address some issues that have gone on this weekend. So, I know you guys saw that I had posted on Saturday to please pray for our family. It's been a nightmare of a weekend. So Saturday, I was in Vegas, and basically, I had gotten a call from Hannah in the morning first that there's a member of her family who is an abuser, who is not allowed around her or her children. And we believe that they got wind that we were relocating the family to Phoenix on Wednesday to our new place, and decided that he would show up. So he showed up unannounced against her wishes to their residence where her and the girls were, and their mother. And she took the kids and left for a while, called me, called CJ Dunning, who's a good friend of ours, called her sponsor, your therapist too, yeah? Yeah, and so we all kind of said, hey, if this person is going to remain on the property, your mother's not going to have them removed, just book an Airbnb and go to the Airbnb. So the kids had a school function. After the school function, she wanted to go home, get them closed for the week. We booked an Airbnb. Again, I was in Vegas and she's in Payson, Arizona. So I'm hundreds of miles away. Just kind of, okay, just do what we said in therapy. Just follow the rules. Do what your sponsor says. And around, what was it, 4? It was around 5 o'clock. I get a text message from her. Her oldest daughter doesn't want to go to the Airbnb. So I FaceTimed her. And I was like, hey, just let me talk to her oldest daughter and just see what's going on and why she's upset. And I could hear in the background that she was upset. And then I started to hear yelling, and her abuser, who's her father, he came into frame and he said, I'm gonna bash her fucking skull in, and then grabbed my girlfriend by the sleeve of her shirt and began punching her. and I saw him strike you 3 times. Yeah. So she dropped the phone. I panicked and called 911. Because he said I'm gonna, he threatened to kill her, and then I should witness the assault. I reported as an attempted murder. Police were dispatched. She managed to get her phone and get away from him. It's not the father of her children. It's her own father. So he's an abusive alcoholic, and so the youngest daughter had to get in between, stop her father from being on top of her, punching her, and she got her phone. She called 911. I packed up bags, threw them in my car, and began to drive from, I'm in Enterprise, Las Vegas, driving to Payson, Arizona, which is 6.5, 7 hours away. And I'm just freaking out and calling her sponsor, calling all these people. Then I'm calling her and I can't get a hold of her. Then she calls me back and is like, I'm being arrested. And, in an attempt to protect
my children.
Well, no, you're in an attempt to protect the abuser. The mother lied to the police with the father and said that she struck her child or spanked her child. So they took her away. So now, I'm completely baffled by this. We've been together for 11 months. I have never seen this woman so much as raise her voice to her children. Unfortunately, we are both sober, but, we come from addict families and alcoholics, and this is usually what happens when you get better and you start setting boundaries. This is something I experienced with my brother. And so I recognize the father's behavior as, if you're accused of sexually and physically abusing your child, you don't attack them with violence, and, and basically I drove all the way there to, even post bail if I needed to post bail. And then in addition to that, I wanted to make a police report because I was a witness, and I had tried to speak to the police on the phone, and they wouldn't call me back. So I drove all the way to Phoenix overnight, got to Phoenix at about 1 a.m, couldn't sleep. The officer at the Payson County Jail office said that she would be seeing a judge at 8 a.m. So I slept for about an hour and a half, got back in my car, and then drove all the way to Payson another 2 hours, or hour and 45 minutes. Went straight to the jailhouse, said, I need to make a police report. I'm a witness to a violent crime. And they said, you got to go to the police precinct around the block. So I drove to the Payson police precinct and asked to speak to the arresting officer, asked to make a statement, and I gave them my name, and they said, we have to place you under arrest. So, and this is the ridiculousness of how...
Yeah, so it sounds like he shows up later, and it sounds like he had a warrant on file, and not as though he was immediately placed under arrest. Let's continue.
People don't want the truth to come out so bad that they will literally do anything. And yeah, and so another family member had been alerted that I was driving to go pick her up and called the police and said I was going to come there and kill everybody, which I went there, I had no possession of a firearm. I wasn't even mad. I was scared. And
you just watched me.
Yeah, and I had to watch her get assaulted, and as a man, just to see the person that you love, and I'm so far away, and I blame myself that I didn't move her sooner, because I know how bad it is. And the police were, look, we know this is bullshit, but we literally have to put you under arrest. So, I was like, all right. So they fingerprinted me. You get the lamp goat posted my mugshot. I'm laughing in it. Everyone is kind of like, this is ridiculous. and they realized like something is really wrong with the stories are not adding up. So, you know, basically the, I went into a cell for an hour and a half, and I watched a movie, and then I came out, spoke to the judge, and they're like, "Oh, you got a misdemeanor, and you just got to come back and plead not guilty, and we'll see you in like 2 weeks." So that's what the situation is. I know that like I'm sure Doc and them are trying to, like people are trying to blow this out of proportion or make it like, oh, I did something, and they're desperately trying to like save their careers by defaming me. But the reality is that my girlfriend was violently assaulted, and I showed up, and I did all the right things. I'm 15 years sober. Don't need the drama. She doesn't need this. I'm sad for her kids. Luckily they're safe with their father, who's a good man. And, all this stuff is going to get sorted out, but it's like, it's not okay for families to act like this, especially around small children.
But you don't have to witness the whole thing. Yeah.
And it's deeply hurting because I grew up in environments like this, and, it's unacceptable that an 8-year-old girl, that literally an 8-year-old girl has to protect her 30-year-old mother from her 65-year-old father who's throwing haymakers at her, and, we've got lawyers on this, and we're going to prosecute them. We're going to go to the full extent of the law, and that's it. So just continue to please pray for us. Everything's fine. I'm like, people are like, oh, Tommy's arrested, and I'm like, I walked inside a jail cell for like literally an hour and a half and walked out, which I needed to take a nap. So, because I hadn't slept in how many days. So if there's any other questions, or anybody has any other like, oh, what's going on, because the media loves the drama, and, I'm already somebody, I've come out as conservative, and, I got dragged for all that stuff. And, there's always going to be drama with people who are on the outside. But the reality is that this is a situation that happened. This is my partner. This is my person. I would never, I don't care if you were in London or, if you were in Africa and you got hit on the phone, I'd be on my first flight there. And that's what...
You're the immediate.
Yeah. And that's what, that's what I'm sorrowfully... Should have been there. I know this is what happens. Anyway, we love you guys. We're okay. We're safe. Everybody's safe. And we appreciate the concern. And, this is the thing. It's like, even now, and like, I have to, we have to pray for these people. And as much as it's aggravating, we can't be Christians and then persecute and hate because these people are sick. And
those who trespass.
So anyway, thank you, and sorry, it's been very emotional for us.
It's a lot.
And I never in a million years thought I would see anything like this. And I just, you guys see, our relationship is public. How much we love each other, and this has been like, especially for me, I was alone for a long time. And I finally found someone good, and it's very hard to watch someone good be treated so bad, and then feel powerless. So, all right. Anyway, I just wanted to clear that up. So if there's any confusion or anybody doesn't understand what's going on, that's what happened. And we love you guys, and thank you so much. And that's everything is back to work. The lawyers are doing what lawyers do, and then we're just getting back to lunch. So it's a terrible weekend. I hope everyone had a better weekend than we did. But have a good one. All right, peace.
Any way you look at this, it's a terrible situation, especially when there's kids involved. This is a situation that's going to work its way through the courts, and that is all we know for now. So that's your latest update here from Rockfeed. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for the latest news and updates about your favorite musicians.